Today, we're diving into the world of ancient Rome, Ridley Scott style, to uncover just how much of Gladiator II is based on historical fact and how much is pure Hollywood magic. You've seen the trailers, you've heard the buzz, rhino-riding warriors, a shark-infested Colosseum, and Pedro Pascal leading the charge. But did any of this actually happen? Let's break it all down, step by step, and see where Ridley Scott stayed true to history and where he said, nah, let's make this cooler. First, let's talk about the legacy. The original Gladiator was a phenomenon. 20 years ago, it swept audiences off their feet with its gripping story, intense action, and memorable lines. Are you not entertained? It became a cultural catchphrase. Now, after decades, Gladiator II has arrived, raising one big question. Can it live up to its predecessor? But more importantly for today's discussion, how much of it is rooted in real history? Spoiler alert, some of it is surprisingly accurate. Other parts, well, let's just say Ridley Scott let his imagination run wild. And you know what? We're here for it. Alright, let's start with one of the film's most compelling additions, Denzel Washington's character, Marcus Opelius Macrinus. In the movie, Macrinus is portrayed as a freed slave turned power player. He's sharp, strategic, and ambitious. But who was the real Macrinus? Here's the deal. Macrinus did exist, and he did betray Emperor Caracalla, just like in the film. But his background is quite different. Historically, Macrinus wasn't a former slave. He was born to a low-class family in modern-day Algeria. He climbed the ranks through sheer ambition, eventually becoming the commander of the Praetorian Guard, basically the emperor's elite bodyguards. The prophecy about Macrinus overthrowing Caracalla, that part is true. Caracalla, ever paranoid, planned to execute him. Macrinus struck first, assassinating the emperor and taking the throne for himself. His reign didn't last long, though just over a year before he was ousted and executed. So, while Gladiator II takes liberties with Macrinus's origin story, his role as a backstabbing opportunist is rooted in historical fact. Denzel as a ruthless Roman emperor. Yes, please. Now, let's talk about Pedro Pascal. He plays General Acacius, a major player in Gladiator II. But, sorry to disappoint, history buffs this guy as pure fiction. There's no record of a General Acacius in Roman history. However, his storyline is woven into the film's broader tapestry of real historical events. For example, Lucilla, played again by Connie Nielsen, has a pivotal role in the sequel. Historically, she was the daughter of Emperor Marcus Aurelius and sister to the infamous Commodus. And in the movie, her son Lucius, played by Paul Mescal, is a fictional creation. The film imagines Lucius as the rightful heir to the throne, hidden away in Numidia, which brings Acacius into the picture. So while Pedro Pascal's Acacius might not have walked the streets of Rome, his character adds drama and intrigue that fits perfectly into the Gladiator universe. Now, let's get to the wild stuff, sharks in the Colosseum and naval battles. Seriously, what? As crazy as it sounds, the Romans did host naval battles for entertainment. These events, known as naumachia, were spectacles where real ships fought in specially built basins filled with water. Julius Caesar and Emperor Augustus were known to stage these massive, water-based battles. Here's the thing. They didn't happen in the Colosseum. Logistics alone would have been a nightmare. While Emperor Domitian might have flooded the Colosseum for smaller water events, the addition of sharks, that's pure Ridley Scott flair. So no, ancient Romans weren't feeding their enemies to sharks in a gladiatorial naval showdown. But does it make for jaw-dropping cinema? Absolutely. Okay, we need to talk about the rhino-riding gladiator. It's one of the most talked-about elements in the trailers, and people are losing their minds over it. Here's the truth. Romans did feature exotic animals like rhinos in their games. These creatures were often brought in from Africa for hunts and battles known as venationes, but they weren't used as mounts. Can you picture a Roman gladiator trying to ride a rhino into battle? It's absolutely bonkers and completely unrealistic. Rhinos are unpredictable, dangerous, and, as one trainer reportedly warned Ridley Scott, once they start moving, you can't stop them. So while rhinos in the arena were a real thing, riding them like ancient tanks, that's a no. But hey, it's Ridley Scott. If anyone can make it look awesome, it's him. Alright, let's zoom out for a second. At this point, you might be wondering, does it really matter if Gladiator II takes liberties with history? Short answer, not really. Historical epics like Gladiator II are about storytelling. They take inspiration from the past, but aren't bound by it. Ridley Scott knows how to craft an unforgettable narrative. He takes the skeleton of history and fleshes it out with drama, action, and larger-than-life characters. Sure, some historians might cringe at the inaccuracies, but for the rest of us, it's pure entertainment. So there you have it. Gladiator II may not score a perfect grade for historical accuracy, but does that make it any less epic? Absolutely not. From rhinos and sharks to Denzel Washington and Pedro Pascal, This movie promises to be a cinematic spectacle that blends fact, fiction, and Ridley Scott's unparalleled vision. Now it's your turn. What do you think about the historical liberties taken in Gladiator II? Are you here for the accuracy? Or do you just want to be entertained? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, if you love deep dives like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next epic breakdown. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning everything. And remember, ARRU not entertained.